法官用你的眼神就可以判断是不是要起诉你的话，那我们台湾就永无宁日。
赠与性质，这方面也是。
我想这个法院的判决证明了一件事情，就是真相只有一个。太极门是清清白白，真金不怕火炼。
That day, I witnessed a scene that was only possible from a movie. Watching the inspectors rush in with ammunition, we all froze. In the loud scolding like in slow motion, though no one opened fire, the camera flashed in front of my eyes felt like continuous gunfire, so dazzling and unreal. Frowning, squinting, there were many doubts in my heart, but looking at the detained people and objects, my body started to shake uncontrollably. This must be a dream, a nightmare. Tears blurred my vision. I squeezed my arm only to find that this was a reality, more terrifying than a nightmare. I needed to wake up, needed someone to tell me what happened. This is just a nightmare after all. On December 19, 1996, prosecutor Ho Kwan-ren, in the name of a religious crackdown, searched 12 Taijimen academies with 19 troops, accompanied by major media outlets, as if he wanted to paint a heroic image under the spotlight, rather than to pursue the truth. Later, he filed an extremely outrageous indictment against the Dangmenren of Taijimen, fabricated crimes of fraud, abused the power of authority, forced coercion to obtain confessions, and forged documents.
这个很生气，杠那两个唱歌怎么？他说：“你没吃，你念什么修什么？一点慈悲心都没有。你的家里人要被，他也被关了，你还不赶快救他？”
The whole process severely damaged the people's trust in the judicial system. With the media's lavish reports and ridiculous exaggeration, suddenly the Taijimen Dizi fell victim to this political purge.
我被陌生的男生把我的肩膀一拉，你怎么还敢穿这种衣服？你们太极门怎么样？就开始这样子对着我就吼。
It is obvious that Ho Kwan-ren tried to exterminate Taijimen, and the plan was working. The innocence and kindness of the group were erased overnight, leaving the pure white uniforms cast in shadow. Thousands of families were victimized, and the harm endured was not explainable with words. Taijimen has been innocent from the beginning. Many Taijimen deeds decry injustice as Taijimen has suffered unjustified cases of extermination for no reason. It is the Dangmenren of Taijimen Academy and his wife who suffer the most, but they and their disciples have never given up on defending their innocence. After many efforts, the criminal case was finally determined by the Supreme Court of Taiwan in 2007. Taijimen was not guilty and had no tax evasion. The Supreme Court also confirmed the nature of the Jing Shi Li as gifts, and there was no taxation problem. All innocent defendants received national compensation, further proving that this case was a false case from the beginning.
拿到这个原于赔偿金呢，对于他们来说呢，其实已经是迟来的正义了。他们这10年、20年当中啊，受到很多的冤屈啊，那甚至于很多是妻离子散、家破人亡。
A few short sentences, less than 30 seconds, but behind it was a long 10 years and 7 months. The criminal court summoned about 200 witnesses, 58 courts, and took a total of 9,570 minutes. Every minute, every second carries with it countless blood, tears, and grievances. Finally, the belated justice of the innocents from the criminal case was ushered, but the taxation derived from the criminal case did not end as it should have. Due to the corruption of the NTB and the administrative court, a whole new round of nightmares began.
经过最高行政法院的判决确定，都已经认定太极门不是补习班，净司礼都是赠与的弟子的净司礼，不是补习班学费，所以太极门根本就没有税单，也没有纳税的问题。
刑事罪定验体，也就是起诉是完全不实，也就是说你完全没有举证，在完全没有举证之下所核发的税单当然是无效的，他应该要主动的来进行。
But not only was the tax bill not revoked, the Administrative Enforcement Agency of the Ministry of Justice, Hsinchu Branch, also enforced the auction of Taijimen's land in Miaoli Mountain. It is intolerable. We have been bullied for too long, so we decided to put on our headscarves, protest on the streets, clench our fists. We roared. What did we do wrong? This roar has lasted for 25 years. 25 years, 9,125 days, a quarter of a century. How many people have dedicated the best time in their lives for this? They were youth, filled with righteous indignation. Now they are gray-haired human rights fighters. They were young and beautiful women. Now they hold the hands of their children while protesting on the street. They were cheerful and innocent children. Now they stand on the front lines speaking through the microphone. They were even allies who could not resist the passage of time, who passed away before justice arrived. In this violent storm, he no longer has another existence like a parallel universe. All because of Zhang Ren's great spirit, he waved his sleeves and said, "We still have to be patriotic. Because we love this land, we have to fight." So we dried our tears and continued to roar, but this time the scene was different. We are promoting Chinese martial arts with traditional weapons and feather fans to show the beauty and essence of the culture. In front of the president's office where we were protesting, we are now celebrating the nation's birthday. We were invited 10 times to perform at the national birthday celebration, and 8 times we performed on Ketagalan Boulevard. We did an important opening at the 2017 Universiade. We won the martial arts championship in Japan and performed at the Sydney Opera House during the Olympics to promote love and peace. The group has traveled across 5 continents to countless countries to promote the importance of conscience. In our homeland, we protest on the streets, but in the United Nations, we receive countless compliments. It was not that there was no pain, tears never stopped flowing. Because we care, we endure the sorrow. Because of faith, we bear the humiliation. This is all because we hope to show our smiles. Our hometown is surrounded by the sea, and the persecution put us in a situation like that of an isolated island. Fortunately, when we reached out for help, what we got was assistance from outside the island. Because of how absurd the case is, it has received a lot of attention by the international community that values human rights. Professor Kenneth Jacobson, the former advisor to the US President Clinton, who has been following the case for a long time, published an article after studying the case and said that the prosecutor's way of handling the case is so absurd that his mental health is questionable.
The mere statement of that would cause individuals and should cause individuals to question the sanity of the prosecutor.
Dr. Massimo Intravine, the Italian founder of the Research for New Religions and Belief, which helps those suffering from religious persecution, mentioned this is not a domestic or technical tax case, but a human rights case based on freedom of religion or belief. He also stressed that there's no time limitation to fight against human rights persecution, and that the international community has the responsibility to help resolve this case together. In San Francisco, Silicon Valley, Los Angeles, Honolulu, and New York, we have been protesting in front of the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office. In December 2021, we went to the political center of the world, Washington, D.C., to petition in front of the Taipei Economic and Cultural Representative Office. Those who walked or drove by expressed their support by honking or thumbing up, and some even joined us in holding protest posters. We have visited many scholars and experts in many countries and talked about the case. They all expressed shock and inconceivability. Their support shows us that we are not alone on this road of seeking justice, that we are not helplessly isolated. We only hope the Taiwanese authorities will open their eyes and not trap themselves due to their inactions. On September 19, 2020, a group of volunteers from the Legal and Tax Reform League was holding posters at a crossroads in Hsinchu when all of a sudden a big group of police officers showed up questioning the volunteers. The atmosphere then was very tense and the police officers started to shout at the volunteers. During the chaos, an officer forcefully stuffed a sign into the hands of one of the volunteers, Ms. Huang. The officer accused her of criminal behavior and handcuffed her without explaining why. Without knowing what crime she has committed, Ms. Huang was taken to Liujia police station, then transferred to the district prosecutor's office overnight. An innocent volunteer was tortured for almost 8 hours. After she was released by the prosecutor's office, she felt dizzy and was sent to a hospital. She was later diagnosed with acute stress disorder. The next day, the precinct chief of Zhubei Hsinchu County Police Bureau held a press conference trying to discredit Ms. Huang. He smeared an unarmed elderly volunteer as a criminal, lying about the truth of the incident, which is very similar to the process of the Taichman tax case 25 years ago. First detaining and intimidating innocent people, then publicly denouncing the innocent in front of the media. For us who have been persecuted for 25 years, it is like sprinkling salt on our wounds, adding fuel to the fire. We thought this would have happened in a totalitarian state, but it unbelievably happened to us, at a place we know so well, in a so-called democratic country. But even so, we are not giving up, because we love our country, because we want it to become a better place. For 25 years, we have not been afraid. No matter how hard the rain falls, how hot the blazing sun shines, the raging fire in our hearts will never be extinguished. What ignites the fire is the anger from being mistreated. What ignites the fire is the pain the taxation victims suffered. What ignites the fire is the perseverance to pursue justice. Even if there is more injustice, more pains, we will still roar. As long as the case is not resolved, we will not give up. We will continue to move forward. If the fabricated Taichman tax case is not redressed, the raging fire will never be extinguished.